Hi, Kelly here from Body Fit Solutions. This day is all about the quads, the front of our thighs. So we're going to release tension from here, which is really great if you do sit a lot in your day. And this is a good start before we start doing any leg workouts, squats, lunges, that we have lots of flexibility in the front of our thighs. So what you need today is a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, please pause, go grab one online, and then come back and resume this video because you do need something of this nature to be able to do this with. Or if you're already used to doing stuff with a foam roller, we recommend using a hard ball like a medicine ball, or if you've got like a hard football that you can use that's round, that works quite nicely. So we're really just looking for 2 to 3 minutes on each side. This isn't going to take long, and then I'm going to finish with a little stretch. So this should be about a 5 to 10 minute experience. So we're going to come down onto the floor. We're going to put the front of the thigh right onto the foam roller, and if your upper body strength isn't great, what you can do is just prop yourself up with some pillows underneath your torso and just let your thigh rest on that roller. And we're just looking really to find any knots, any discomfort in the tissue. We're looking for about a 7 or 8 discomfort out of 10. So if 10 was really quite uncomfortable and 1 is nothing, we're looking for about a 7 or 8. Nothing sharp, but it should feel almost like you're getting a deep tissue massage and someone's found a knot there. It tends to be a little bit more on the outside of the thigh, so as you see, as I've come down from the hip, I can start feeling my tender spot. And I'm just going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just let myself melt onto that roller. And then coming down, once it's melted, a little bit further. Now for some of you who haven't done this before, this is going to feel slightly uncomfortable. It might take a little bit longer for you to release. So spend a few days here, and if we do progress on in the videos, then I suggest that you do this alongside the other things, just as a little warm-up. So we've probably got another half a minute left. Just breathing, and don't be afraid to spend longer here. If there's certain areas that are really uncomfortable and other areas that are not, then hang out a little bit more in the uncomfortable areas. So definitely on the side of my thigh. We're just going to do a few more minutes. If you want to time it on your clock, or just wait really to feel that you've come all the way down the leg towards the knee. You're supporting yourself through the upper body if you need to. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So starting at that top of the hip. And what are we actually doing here? We're releasing the fascia, which is the connective tissue that runs over top of all your muscles. And it's a lining that tends to get sticky and tight if we are out of function in our body. So if we start to do some faulty patterns, or we're sitting too long, we drive a lot in our day, then we start to develop these knots and restrictions in the tissue around the muscles. So some people might traditionally think, oh, my muscles are tight, I'm going to stretch them. But actually what happens is the tissue that we're now melting actually gets more restricted when you stretch it in a really passive way. So we're just looking for the knots, letting it melt, and then I'm just slowly moving down. It's important to breathe. And it's important to hydrate yourself. So through this challenge, I want you to really aim to drink at least 2 liters of water a day, if not more. Start your day with hot water and lemon. Really good way to start your day with some good hydration. And the more hydrated the tissue is, the more flexible and fluid it's going to be. So you're going to find if you drink a lot of caffeine or sugary drinks, that you will find that the tissue is much more restrictive than if you do drink a lot of water. So I've just moved my way down that front of the thigh. I'm a little bit more on the outside edge of the thigh. I'll just do a few more seconds, or if you've been timing yourself, go at least 2 minutes, and if you need more time than that, if it feels like it's quite restricted, then go a little bit longer. And if you don't have a foam roller, then you can use a hard surface ball, like a football, basketball, or even if you've got quite a large kid's toy, just make sure it is a hard surface. So we've done 2 minutes on each side, and now I'm going to finish with a little stretch for the same area. So I'm going to put my foot on a chair or on a couch, works really well, on your bed, and just bringing the other leg forward. Cushion yourself up under the knee, especially if you've got sensitivity in the knee. And what I want you to really focus on is tilting the pelvis up. So I'm going to take the front of the pelvis up towards the ribs and drag the front heel back at the same time. So my front leg is feeling like it's pulling the mat backwards. I'm not going to actually physically move it, and I'm tilting the pelvis up. And that's giving me a nice strong stretch up through the front of the thigh. I'm going to breathe there. Maybe for about 3 to 5 counts, and then let that feeling go. And then come into it again, pulling that front heel. If you feel you're flexible enough, you could take the arms up. Just make sure that the ribs don't press forward and you don't go into the arch of your back. So if you can, but that might feel quite tight if you've never done this before. Some of you might even struggle to get from here. So you can start here, start to tilt the pelvis, bring yourself up. If you need something to hold on to, maybe bring another chair over here, something that you can hold on to for your balance. If it's a little bit too strong with the foot up, you can do the same stretch and just build it up. Start with the foot down, same thing, tilt the pelvis, drag the heel, and then build up to getting that foot up on a surface. So again, if that's quite tight, I would do a minute or 2 on that side, switch over to the other side, and if that felt like quite a challenge, I would continue this on throughout the days until you feel a little bit looser there, especially as we get into the leg work. So enjoy that, and give the comments below, and look forward to hearing from you. Bye!